On the flip side, what is actually still affordable these days? Hot take, but most real video games are, and will always be, unaffordable money sinks, but a sold single-player game costs less and provides more hours of entertainment after adjusting for inflation. Games 30 years ago cost $70. Some places charged even more. USD is worth half of what it was worth 30 years ago. The typical single-player game DLC is $100. If the price of games rose with inflation, they'd be $40 more expensive. Granted, minimum wage has gone up slower than inflation. I'm glad I live in WA! Instant reminder of a Bill Burr skit, which is probably the most correct answer. Produce in general with some exceptions is super cheap for what you get out of it. Who the fuck goes to McDonald's to get in shape? And don't give me that horseshit that eating healthy is expensive. It isn't. Go to a fucking supermarket. They're throwing the vegetables at you. Here's celery. Get it the fuck out of here, 70 cents 25 cents for a banana, whatever the fuck you want, get it out of here. Before it goes bad. Right now the grocery store by my house has a deal that if you buy a 12-pack of Guinness product you get a 6-pack for free. I've been buying a 12-pack of Hard Lager for $13.99 and grabbing a 6er of Guinness Extra Stout, which is $8.99 a 6-pack, every day this week on my way home for work. I figure by the end of this special I'll be set all the way up to the Super Bowl and beyond. Whenever Thread asks what things have become too expensive, it's guaranteed that Lego is on the list, but Lego prices have been flat in real dollars for a long time, and even before adjusting for inflation the price is significantly down since I first bought a set with my own money. If you do adjust for inflation, the price of Lego has dropped about 85% over the last 40 years. Video games. In the 30 years of console generations and PC gaming, consoles, PC parts with the exception of the last few gens of graphics cards and games prices have all remained steady regardless of inflation. A NES game was $70 brand new 30 years ago, most titles release for less than $70 now. Flying. It's stupidly cheap nowadays. I remember spending over 2k USD in 1991 to fly to Australia, which was a huge amount then. Now you can do it for less, in today's money. Meaning about 3x cheaper in real terms. You can fly to other countries for less than the cost of a delivery pizza. Mad. A lot of things are very affordable. You have to shop ads, and look for sales. If you're looking for holiday gifts, home goods and max prices have come down. I noticed that many comforters and bedding prices are down $20 over last year. Pretty much back to where they were pre-pandemic. MCDs. I can get a burger, fries and a drink for like $5. It's not great food by any means, but it's cheap. The other day the girlfriend and some of our friends went out of town and stopped there for breakfast before hitting the road. We spent $20 for 4 people. CVS has these Italian chocolate wafers. They're $1.19 or $3. They are literally the cheapest food item in CVS. Nothing else comes close. Even animal crackers are almost $5. I should also mention that they're almost 5 ounces, so it's not a small package at all. Sun tea with no sweetener or flavorings. This replaced soda pop in my household. Homemade bread, 60 cents a loaf. Unlimited and safe, clean water from the tap where I live. So much of the world of not enough water and or it is unsafe to drink. Inexpensive starter guitars are of very high quality these days. You can get a Squier Affinity Series Telecaster for $250, and it will be a better instrument than anything I was able to afford in the 80s and 90s. I mean, right out of the box. Almost everything is cheaper better now than it ever was throughout history. Prices may have gone up a bit recently, but in the slightly longer term stuff is insanely cheap and good compared to what previous generations had access to. There was a Steak and Shake at the airport and I got a reasonably sized grilled cheese with fries for like $5. I realize it costs nothing to make, but man, that's the cheapest takeout meal I've had in some time. At an airport no less. I think raw ingredients aren't that different in price, especially if you buy whatever is in season. We had ground beef 93 for $5.99 at Harris Teeter, bananas and potatoes and so forth. Anything prepared is ridiculously priced. Libraries are still open to provide materials, assistance, reduced passes, even some wild things like home tools or people, for either free or low cost. Please use your libraries, there's a lot besides just books in there. Surprisingly, cars. The cost of cars hasn't gone up as fast as salaries. The average purchase price of cars has gone up though, as more and more people are buying more expensive options. Typically SUVs cost more than sedans. Guitar strings for electric guitar. I still have no understanding why they don't charge more. Walk into the store with my chest puffed out. Where are the strings, my man? Points sign reads $11. Flying, despite what you think. In real inflation-adjusted terms it's cheaper than it's ever been. Uncomfortable for sure. But if all you care about is getting somewhere, it's undeniably cheap. Library cards. You get access to free books and other resources too. I think some libraries even have video games. Also parks, the outdoors, and walks. I'm going real minimalist in 2024. Air travel is amazingly inexpensive, perhaps the cheapest it's ever been. Having gone from a luxury only the wealthy can afford to everyone flying everywhere for non-essential reasons, mostly fast food. Trying to eat healthier these days is more expensive and it's honestly a little sad. But I do think gym memberships are pretty affordable depending on where you go. I don't know much about groceries, but getting like a handful of limes or some cilantro or some peppers I feel like are pretty cheap. Like 8 cents for a lime? That seems pretty nice to me. Furniture. IKEA has changed everything about furniture. It used to be so expensive to buy. Now corner and coffee tables can actually be cheaper than coffee orders. Taking pictures back in the film days, the cost per picture was exponentially higher. Same with recording a video, required dedicated equipment and videotape. Audiobooks are reasonably affordable and give a lot of entertainment. You can also get many audiobooks and physical books for free via your local library. Life insurance. Higher interest rates means companies are adjusting premiums to the downside. The flip side is you need more coverage to offset inflation. Sam's Club hot dog combo. $1.50 lunch when you're not that hungry. And you can order it on the app and avoid the long line, which is awesome. My kid needed some new clothes and we bought him a winter coat and 2 pairs of pants for $50 on Saturday. I am amazed how cheap they were. As much as people hate on avocados for being expensive, I never seem to experience it. I buy avocados for around 50 cents a piece typically. Anything you answer with could get popular from your answer, driving the price up and ruining the affordability. Best not to answer. This head scratcher is $1.50 at Walmart. Our Danes love it. Best thing I've gotten in a long time. A Christmas tree permit for national forests is still $5 where I live. And it's more fun than a Home Depot parking lot too. Cheap kitchen appliances. Won't last more than a few months though. Inkjet printers, but ink is more expensive than gold. Wheat is more affordable than it's ever been. For less than $7, I can get a gram of potent stuff with no seeds or stems. Technology, smartphones, computers, laptops. You can't imagine how much buying a 1GB USB drive in 2002 costs. Storage devices. I can get 4 TB of storage at Best Buy for less than $150. As a photographer it's a lifesaver. Depending on what state you live in, you can get a Model 3 RWD for around $25,000. Cheaper in some states. I get a pound of Mid's weed for $350. Runs cheetah piss etc. I used to pay $1,250 a QP of the same quality. Bowling where I live. The local place is not chains. There is a place that's $10 for 2 games with shoes. Only price that hasn't changed is weed. Or at least that's the only thing I can think of right offhand. Even though the price of salt has almost doubled from what I remember, it's still relatively affordable. Hospital food. Just this morning I paid $4 for a mukbang quantity of really tasty cafeteria food. Grab a 5-pound bag of potatoes from the grocery and eat good for a week. It was $3 at my local store. In-N-Out fast food is still very reasonably priced. Much better than McDonald's and much cheaper. Edibles still $18 a pack from Indigenous Reserve. Same price before, during and after COVID. Living abroad in different paradise countries, utilizing a remote job to fund your life. No body answer please. We don't want any bigwigs peering on and giving them ideas. Computers. I remember growing up when we all had to share one computer as a family. Beans, rice, eggs. I can live off of this with somewhat cheap vegetables as well. Potatoes and garlic. They sell for less than the water here to grow them. A Costco membership. They haven't raised membership fees in several years. A couple of years ago a 128GB SD card was a luxury item only for the rich. My local Walmart had penny apples for $2. They tasted great as well. Ramen. Still about $1 a cup or 50 cents per package if you buy a box of 24. Rotisserie chicken, burrito bowls at Pollo Loco, and Arizona tea. Many things like cars, motorcycles, phones, computers, clothes. Arizona iced tea. It was 99 cents, but went up to $1.25, still good. Toilet seats are amazingly cheap. I bought one for under $10. The cost of weed has been the same since about 2007 in the UK. Fruits and vegetables from Ethic Markets and produce stands. Entry-level bicycles. Cheapest transport possible. Fun too. Looks like I'm going to live off of potatoes and bananas. Breathing air doesn't cost actual money. Yet, I got 3 ounces of good weed for like $100 last week. Afraid to answer if they see the sale raise prices. Bananas. They are dirt cheap, and really good for you. Kindness. It's absolutely still affordable, it's free. Found decent work jeans for $16 at a farm store. Taco Bell. Rotisserie chicken. $1 lottery scratchers.